Hey everybody, it's Aquila, and this is a Lefty Knitter Podcast, episode 75. Today is July 21st, 2020. You can find all my links down below, Ravelry, Instagram, aquilladahun, and a Lefty Knitter Podcast. Little bit of a change of scenery, only because I normally record from this side. I have a lot of stuff on the table. And I have to take some pictures of things before I can put them away. So I just want to show you right now. I ordered some Felice yarn from Knitpicks. I love the sock yarn, I really do. Sometimes the colorways, two of the colors are really close to one another, but that's okay. It's pretty affordable. That's a whole nother discussion, right? Affordable yarns, indie dyed yarns, etc. I feel like you knit with what you can knit with and what you can afford, and you shouldn't feel ashamed. I knit with an array of yarns. So don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't knit something with a certain yarn, because you can. It just is what it is. I know there's a whole debate going on about it in posts, and yeah. I don't discriminate. I show you guys big box store yarn, I show you guys indie dyed yarn, I show you guys middle of the road yarn, which is like Knitpicks. I have no problem with it. So I ordered some colorways, which I was like super excited. There were two colors that really stuck out when I saw the new colors, and Roz Knits designed two of them? What? Like, how do you even get to be like, I'm gonna design some colorways for Knitpicks? Like, how does that happen? And I don't think she works for them. I think she was like, contracted? Is that what you would say? She was contracted by them? I don't know. So I ended up loving those two colorways before I even knew that she had designed them. I keep slapping my leg, and that's probably annoying. So those two colorways were Carrot Cake. Now, if you've not used Knitpicks Felice yarn, this is their self-striping yarn in the sock weight, and it's I think it's a 75-25. 75-25. Getting a weird glare because the sun's coming from that angle. It's pretty accurate though. I like it. Oh my gosh. The other one, I have like excitement about something that's happening, but I don't want to say what it is yet. So you'll just have to stay tuned to my channel. The other colorway that was designed by her was the Vampire Vibes, and I think this one's really cool too. These two both stuck out at me, and I was like, oh, I really like those. I gotta say though, these came really messily packed. Like, the labels aren't fitting well on them, like they're kind of crazy. I'm not gonna say that, you know, I'm never gonna put down Knitpicks for like and say I would never buy it again, because I'll still buy it. I just thought out of previous orders of Felice, this just came a little messy. Even some of the skein, like, what's that? Like, I know I can fix that. It is what it is. But like, what is that? I've never had a ball of yarn like that come from them. This one I really loved too. Look, there's even, it's like, oh, I gotta untie that. I get two of each because they're 50 grams, and I know I could make one pair out of one ball if I used contrasting colors. This is animal cookies, so it's like the frosted animal cookies, and there are two of those. Two more colorways. And if you spent $50, you got a free needle case, which I forgot to do because I was putting Hazel to bed and I was rushing, and then I called them the next day and I was like, is there any way you can add this to my order? Because I totally forgot to put in the code, and yeah, they put it in for me, asked me which one I would like. They're like, it's in the warehouse now being packed, so hopefully they'll make it And it did. It made it, so I'll show you that too. Again, look at this. What's It galore. I really, teals and greens are kind of like my thing. I love anything in that family. Really beautiful. And then I really love this one, and this was called Dragon Boat. 2 of them, obviously. Dragon Boat. I really like those colors too. So I got 10 balls. I didn't get all the colorways. This is only 5. Dropped it. I think they had like 10. I'm not quite sure. I liked some of the other colorways. My hair gets stuck in my glasses. I like some of the other colorways too, but I limited myself. Oh, the needle case. Here's the needle case. And this is the Caspian colorway, and it's for interchangeable needles. I had bought a set of nickel-plated interchangeables from them years ago, and it came in just a clear zip pouch, which I still use, but I think I might change them over to this, or I might hate it, because I really like seeing through the clear what I have in there. Because I've ordered other interchangeable tips, and I just have thrown them in that bin, in that bag. So, yeah. As the only thing I would like I'd like to be able to label it. Maybe I could take a silver marker, because can you see the there's all the pockets. And then there's pockets on the opposite side. So you have a whole flap for pockets, and you have zippers on both sides for like all your notions and your cords. Let me just talk about the Ocean Pathways cowl. Nothing wrong against the pattern whatsoever. I don't think I like knitting color work where you have to hold 3 colors at one time. I'm just not in the right mindset for it right now. I think that's probably more of what it is. I'm not in the right mindset right now. But my other 2 patterns that I have going right now are very mindless. Well, for the most part, mindless. So I was craving something a little more like oomph. I'll show you what I have though. So this is the Ocean Pathways cowl, and it's the designer's name is not Aroha Knits. That is her, I think, like brand name, or maybe it's just her Instagram handle. I would butcher her name, and I've listened to it. It's like Francoise Danoy or something. And I feel bad. I've listened to it because you can listen to it on Ravelry. I just can't pronounce it the same way, and I feel like I'm doing it no justice. On the last episode, I showed you the colors I was going to use. So I'm using, these all are still attached right now because I'm in a part where it is, well, actually there's a lot where you're holding 3 at one time. And I'm really glad now that I didn't choose to do the tubular cowl, because I would have had to do that a lot more times. On this one, you only have to repeat it 3 times for the regular cowl. And I'm getting there, but I do maybe 3 or 4 rows, and I kind of burn my brain out. So I just added in that bright green color. And it looks great. It's just not the right headspace. I've made lots of progress, I feel, on the other 2 projects. I'm not going to show you right now in these clips. I'm going to put a little more progress on them. A little more inches there. A few more centimeters before I show you. I did put markers though, so you'll be able to see how far I made it from the last time, which I'm really terrible at doing, so hooray for me! So today is now Wednesday, July 22nd. You probably just saw a video of me making lasagna. I don't know why I threw that in there. I was just like, I want to video this. So my oldest is vegetarian. So that was a meatless meat lasagna. She prefers a brand that we find at giant grocery stores. I can't remember the brand of the meat. But I use that. It's crumbles. Like, it looks like ground beef and it's plant-based. And you cook it up. So I added in peppers and onions and spinach to it. But last night when she gets here, she's decided that she's now gonna go vegan. Which I'm totally okay with her doing this. I mean, it's hard, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you gotta cut out egg, and there's a ton of substitute type stuff. And we've tried some of those, like so she had already cut out milk completely, like that was already done. She watched a food documentary that just grossed her out. And then when she worked at the barbecue place and she had to break down a chicken, she was like, I'm not eating meat anymore, I'm done. So that was it. And so when she was still living with us, we would try to make at least a meal once a week that was vegetarian. So the cheese is what's hard, you know, cheese, egg, stuff like that. But there are substitutes for it. So I've already been talking to a few people that I know that are vegan and getting ideas. And we have like an organic market near us that sells a lot, like all of these brands. So I just wanted to pop that in. So it was her last vegetarian meal versus vegan meal. And she brought over all this stuff from her pantry that she can't have because it has egg or milk or whatever in it. But Oreos are vegan, so there you go. And strangely enough, she was like, oh yeah, Doritos are not vegan, but the spicy ones are vegan. And I was like, oh, because it's probably like they're not using the cheese powder on it, which makes a lot of sense. It's just crazy how you're gonna have to like read all the instruction labels, obviously, for everything. So I don't know, I videoed it. I show you guys food sometimes here and there and doing stuff like that, so I was like, well, you know, lasagna. And I gotta say, I've gotten much better at making lasagna. I do use the oven ready noodles. If you've not seen them in the store, they're really good and they taste pretty good. Not vegan. It says may contain egg or something. I'm like, oh, so it's processed at a plant that another product may have egg? I don't know how all that works. So, yay. I've been playing on my circular knitting machine. I have an Addi king size, and I was gifted a pattern. This is my Addi king size. I was gifted a pattern to make a sweater on it. So, to make the sweater, you're making flat panels. That is one thing I've not done much of on this machine. I attempted it when I first got it. I was like, oh, I can make flat panels and I can go in the round. And flat panels are a little more difficult because you have to really pay attention to your edge, the last stitch, the edge stitch. If it doesn't catch, you're gonna get a drop stitch. It's gonna be a hot mess. So I've been playing just with scrap yarn that I have, doing flat panels. So when you're doing knitting flat panels, so the machine has a switch for circular versus flat panels. So you have to switch it because it will make the thing stop turning. You'll get to a point, right? And you can't go anymore because it's flat. These right here are stitch stoppers. And I have two of them on my machine. I can't see where the other one is, but I have two. Two of them are on there. Oh, the other one is right there. So I'm going, for the sweater I'm making, I need 34 stitches for my panel. So you have to set, which I didn't know how to do this. I had to read the book. You have to have like 2 extra stitches on needles on one side and 4 extra needles on the other side, so and that's where you put your stopper. So even though it's 34, I have like, it goes across 40 needles total, because that should be 6 needles left. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, I can do math. Sorry. So it will go across all those needles and it'll come back. I was testing it. Now you've seen this color combination before because, well, I ripped out the tube I made, because the sweater you can use worsted weight or 2 fingering held together, which doesn't make a worsted weight, but okay, I'll go with it. So my row gauge is completely off. My stitch count is completely off based on what the pattern calls for. Which, if everybody's using the same machine, it's gotta be due to how much tension you're holding on the yarn that's going in the feeding hole, or the thickness of the yarn is not technically what it should be. Because, you know, there's fingering weight and there's thin fingering and thicker fingering. It's just how it is. We know this. This is why you gauge swatch. It's an oversized sweater anyway. I'm just gonna go with the size that should fit me and go with yarns and just do it. So this is the swatch, flat. Now these are the same yarns I used. Let me move my waist yarn so you can kind of see. Pause. Okay, so these are the 2 yarns. Well, you can barely see the other one because it's that pink strand and this. I had more of this. This is what's left. So this is where I finished. I did drop a stitch on an edge. You can see it right here. I screwed up. Dropped that one. But that's okay. I was just testing the waters here. And I have a drop stitch down there too. But that's because my leading yarn was being really weird. I don't know what was going on, but this is 2 yarns held together in a flat panel. You can see both of the colors a lot more. And I think it's because when I undid the tube I made with this, I did not separate the 2 yarns. I just wound them as one ball. So when it was feeding in, I could see that it was twisted more. So it gave me more of this effect. Versus if you watched a few episodes back, I could put the little eye up here for the episode. It was very much more pink and a lot of the green was on the back. But there's my flat panel. So this is the 34 stitches across this way. Nope. This way. So this panel will be 34 rows and it'll be the top panel like this. Of course, 34 stitches wide, I should say, and it'll be a lot more rows. I was just testing the waters here. So I think it's going to be a slow and steady cranking to get it perfect so you don't have this happen. And I think I need to find a table that I can actually clamp it down to, because it has clamps to clamp down on a table. I've just not done that. I've just been cranking and taking it different places and cranking with it. But I think I really should attach it so I don't have jumping or anything like that. I did finish another tube. Cowl. This is one of the Caron cakes that I got at Michael's when they were having their huge sale. This color is called Mixed Berry. My Kitchener was not the greatest. My cranking was also not the greatest on this. I don't know what happened. I think I was talking too much to family members when I was cranking this, because my tension may have been off. But here it is. So some places I feel like it's skinnier, and this stripe, there was a knot in it and it attached to this color. So I'm thinking this color should have been, like when they retied it, it should have retied to the pink, but they had purple. because this would have been like this versus having another stripe of the purple in there, but I'm okay with that. Here's where I Kitchenered it. Not the greatest, not the worst. So, but it's definitely wider in some places and thinner in others. And this will double very nicely. Again, it's just cranked in a tube all the way around, round and around and around, and then you Kitchener the ends. But I think they're fun and they'll be great to donate. These are really fun colors. I am gonna put them, I think, on my Facebook page and see if any friends I know want any of these before I donate them, and just get a little bit more money, because I paid very little for these. Get a little bit of money and I can buy more, and then I can donate more versus just one. I could get 2 more cakes, crank 2, and then donate 2 instead of 1, just because I've sold 1. So I've just been putting the labels around them so I can remember what they were. So if I do list them to sell for my friends, I can remember what they were and what the content was of the yarn, because some people have allergies and whatnot. So yeah, now I gotta figure out which yarns I want to use in this. I don't have enough yarn in fingering weight to do the whole sweater. And I'm not buying yarn. It's gonna be a very marled, fun sweater. I mean, I could go really crazy and marl a bunch of scraps, but I don't think I want to have that many ends. I think I want to find like 3 skeins in my stash, possibly 4, to make the sweater, and just mix and match, mix and match those. That's what I'm thinking. But it works, the flat panels. It's just all about paying attention. So if you have a machine and you haven't messed with the panels doing flat knitting, just take your time. Just like with any knitting crafty project that you've not done before. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. So, all right, 12 minutes just on that. I love announcing how long I've been talking for. Why do I do that? I don't know. Okay, so it is still Wednesday. I went downstairs to look through some of my box store yarns because I was curious, and I was like, I'm not sure about doubling up the fingering weight yarn for my knitting machine for that sweater for this one, the Pixham, this one. And so I'm digging, and at the bottom of one of my bins, I found a project I had started for John. This was the first sweater I was making him, and I never finished it. We are now quarantined, Chunky. And the other cat is making an appearance. This is Luna. She is our tripod kitty. She is missing a leg, and she's very angry. We are not the skinniest we've ever been, and I don't think horizontal stripes are going to be very attractive. This is on waste yarn, because obviously I've taken the needles out of it. And this is the bottom of the sweater. Don't know what pattern it was. Yeah. But I have 4 balls of each of these colors. Again, box store yarn, budget yarn. I probably even used coupons. This is Sensations Lustrous Lamb, and it's a medium size 4. It is 6 ounces, 308 yards, 80% acrylic, 20% wool. And it's lamb cream is this color. Lustrous Lamb. It's very soft. It's got a good squish to it. But I have if I take 4 times 300, I have 1,200 yards. I have enough for that sweater in one color, and I don't have to mix it all up and try to like make a monster mash sweater. I think that's what I'm gonna do. This needs to get ripped out anyway. It's gonna go bye-bye. The other color is called DK Brown, dark brown. And I have 4 of these. I mean, I have, but I have enough to make my panels and not have to probably use those bits, I think. Because some of it is hand knitting. And I don't mind hand knitting and piecing pieces together, but the panels I would like one continuous strand of yarn. So I'm gonna attempt this, guys. I'm gonna attempt it. Wish me luck. Okay, everybody. My hair gets stuck in my glasses. I complain about it and I pull it out all the time in these videos. It is Friday, the 24th, July. I have my knitting machine clamped down on the table, and I did start cranking the parts to that sweater. I have I have a lot of ends. I have a big mess kind of with this right now, which I need to like figure out. I think this one does not have as like an actual ball attached to it. So you have to make 4 panels, like I said, 2 across each top, front, back, and across the bottoms. These are the tops. They curl like sausage casings terribly. But when this is stretched out, you can see that'll go across here. I cranked the amount of rows it said to crank. It is definitely longer than it needs to be because this goes across here and that's way too long. So luckily it's on waste yarn. All of these panels are the same amount of rows. So I'm gonna crank what it says to crank. And I have a cat attacking yarn. I'm gonna crank what it says to crank row wise. And then I'm gonna pull out rows after I've kind of pinned it out a little. I'm not gonna like fully block it, but I wanna pin it out and measure it and take out as many rows as I need to get to the measurements of the diagram. So that's what I'm gonna do. Let me tell you though, so on your knitting machine, you have 46 needles. For those panels, I was only using so many of them, and you have these stoppers that you put on and it stops and you go back and you make your flat panel. I'm having major issues making the bottom panels. I cast it on twice and failed straight from the start at the beginning of the panel. And then I was like 10 rows away from being done the panel. Done. A stitch fell off. Another stitch ended up falling off. There was no way I was able to salvage it. Salvage, yeah. Rescue it. I was so angry. But now that I think about it, I could have probably kept it because I think because I was only 10 rows away, I would have been ripping them out based on how long these panels are. So it's definitely a learning curve, trying to get it. You just have to pay a lot of attention to making sure the yarn is going under the needle on the edge. That's where I keep having my issues. I watched another video from Yay for Yarn. She does a lot of circular knitting machine videos. I think I saw something that I wasn't fully paying attention to when I knit those, although I'm not sure how these came out fine and I didn't have any issue. But I'm gonna try recranking that today. I am now at lunch for work and I'm gonna try doing that. It's frustrating. My hands have been hurting. I made a post last night on Instagram and I crocheted a little. And I don't know if it's because I've been power knitting those sweaters. So I've been trying to do other things to give my hands a break, because I think also being on a computer all day does not help the situation. But I will definitely show you what I get done on the machine. If not today, tomorrow, or the next video. We'll see. Let's get cranking. My hair looks crazy. All right, it is Saturday. Let's round this episode up. I put my Catbells sweater onto longer needles to try it on. It's pretty cool. I am put all the details down below for who makes this. Pin, I think, is the pattern designer. I am using Lion brand woolies, worsted weight, and I'm here. So the last time you guys saw, I was here. I got to here. I complained a little that the second row I'd have to purl all the way around. Actually, I'm not so slow as I thought. Who would have thought? Okay, and my little one, of course, is making distraction noises in the background. So, here we go. I am really happy with it. I'm excited to get to the point. I mean, I could probably put the collar on, the ribbing on now to see what it kind of looks like, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep going. Yeah. It's a little later in the day than I usually record because we got up early to go tubing. And the place was so packed, we could find no parking anywhere, and it was really frustrating. So we just drove nearby where the river just flows by. Oh gosh, my hair is really terrible. And we just got in the river. We didn't have a tube, but it's okay. We had fun. So, ta-da! All right, you ready for the next one? I don't have my assistant. He's being a butthead, and yeah. So, here we are. I don't snap very well. I've never been good at snapping. I can't whistle either. Weird things to know about me. This is the Once in Floral sweater. I am using Jameson & Smith 2-ply. John should be trying this on, but he, again, is being a butthead. It is on, excuse me. I have put it on backwards because my stitch marker progress keepers are on the back side. So I will just show you. It just has a little bit of short row shaping underneath of the color work anyway. So it's not really a big difference. I mean, it is a big difference once you probably are finished it and wearing it, but just for the purposes of showing you on the podcast, I can do that. So, the last episode I was here, and now I'm here. And the one before that I was here. So I'll put a new one in. Ta-da! I've gotten pretty far. So here's my belly button. I don't have a whole lot more to go. Yay! Exciting, exciting, exciting. And these two sweaters, I think, are partially the reason why my hands hurt. Because I was really knitting a lot. And I had to stop myself from doing that because it was too much. Too much. I've also now ordered a thing to hold my laptop up. I'm sitting where you guys are, is where my desk is for work, for working from home. So I ordered like a laptop thing, just changes that. I've been sitting on a pillow. I have someone coming.
Grandma.
No, you. Through the door. Would you like to say hello?
Hello.
Hello. How do you?
Hazel TV is in Mommy TV.
Hazel TV. Do you have a YouTube channel? She does.
Hazel TV is in Mommy TV. Get it?
I get it. Okay, so what do you think of Daddy's sweater? Truthfully, tell me the honest opinion.
Good, but this, I want it to stay on because it's beautiful.
Okay, well, that won't stay on. It's just a stitch marker. Do you want to tell Shevis that? Because she's the one that made it, that it's beautiful.
I know. I like
Your stitch marker is beautiful, Shevis. Those are just the needles. Spoke.
Well, you remember your magical toy
What magical toy?
that you got me?
Oh, the magical toy. We have toys that we need to open, apparently. I forgot about. So, I'll round this up. We didn't go tubing. We just went to the river. We had some fun. It's going to be really hot today and tomorrow. Wow, you are very loud. Okay, you got to not be so loud. There's people that, when it's too loud on the video, can you tell them what that is?
It sounds like rain.
Sounds like rain. So you made it, right?
Yeah,
That's
but
cool.
I had a tube of that racing,
It has aluminum foil in it.
and it's curled up, but there's rice and we get to draw it.
There's rice in it.
Yeah, but don't tell Daddy that there's rice and you have to draw it, and there's a tube
Yeah. So what were you learning this week at school? What were you learning about? Do you remember?
the rainforest.
The rainforest.
So it sounds like rain because it's the rainforest. Get it? And every time when we're done, we get a sticker, and look which one I picked.
Ooh, a toucan.
A toucan.
Toucan. All right, can you help me say bye to everybody?
Bye. Welcome to watch Mommy TV and Hazel TV since I'm here for the last part.
Do you remember what Mommy's channel is called?
What?
A Lefty Knitter podcast? Not interested, apparently. All right. Well, we're going to say bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I hope you liked this video about Mommy's new shirt. I mean, Daddy, because you can also see the her
Okay,
Daddy.
don't lift my other shirt up, you goof.
It don't fit you.
It fits. It's perfect. But it's going to be Daddy's. Yeah. All right. That's
So,
enough.
bye. Just go into your head.
All right. Knit happy.